Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP at $1.70 or somewhere right around that price point is what you should be watching for. And for Bitcoin, $50,000. I'm going to share with you opinions from a number of analysts in this video. And the new number that's being spouted by a ton of them based on most recent price developments for Bitcoins, it's simply $50,000. That's the level to watch to get this market to really just take off, reignite. So plenty to talk about here, but I do want to be clear at the outset, I don't have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos as a fun hobby. So yes, I'm just as interested in XRP and crypto as you, but that does not make me some sort of guru. I most certainly am not. I mean, look, my name's Moon Lambo. Like, even if I were offering financial advice, would you take financial advice from a guy on the internet named Moon Lambo who may or may not be wearing pants? You do not know my current pants situation. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Now, don't be thinking about it. You keep your mind out of the gutter. As I'm recording this, XRP is at 87 cents. Bitcoin is just over $40,000. Market cap for the asset class, 1.66 trillion. Bitcoin dominance up to 45.11%. And so not surprised to see that at all. We saw Bitcoin dominance start taking off in the later part of 2020 as money just started flooding. For part of that time was actually to the detriment of some altcoins, but we know what happened, don't we? The market moves in tandem and altcoins ultimately came, and so I fully anticipate that the money's going to flow into them additionally. And I'm getting those types of opinions from analysts as well. And they just say in the short term, yes, Bitcoin dominance going up. We're seeing that as the market's getting reignited, if you want to call it that, because Bitcoin does lead the market. So this should not be surprising, but eventually money does flow into the alts. It's just the way humans operate. It's a fun discussion as to why, but even setting aside the why, we can observe this is how humans are behaving. The way money cycles through the system. It happened last market cycle. Observably, it's verifiably true as far as I'm concerned. It's happening this market cycle as well. And so I was getting the latest from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer, and he still thinks that there's a really good chance you could see some serious sparks ignite for altcoins, specifically XRP, this week. Would mind seeing that. I'll just say that. I would not mind seeing it as soon as this week. Now, it doesn't mean that the $1.70 level would necessarily get hit this week. But in terms of levels to watch for, that's going to be a notable level of resistance. So if you can hit that roughly $1.70 zone and then actually push through it, that's the level that he's saying to look for. Things likely going to take off from there. And so from my perspective, it's all just a matter of time. And I wanted to share this from chart analyst Credible Crypto, and it was on the topic of kind of the state of the crypto asset class and why people do what they do with their money in terms of the way they invest. I always think that this is an interesting conversation. And I don't think I'd ever seen anything too terribly in depth from Credible Crypto on this. I'd seen comments here or there, so I was like, oh yeah, I probably have a pretty similar outlook to him. And now I really think that's the case. Because, I've been pretty public about why I've invested in what I've invested for the last 3.5+ years that I've now been in crypto. And for XRP, while I recognize that, this is a very immature asset class in terms of the way people are investing, like, it's just not clear which cryptocurrencies are going to be long-term winners at this point. It's just too early. And as a result, like, people are betting on the asset class as a whole. So I think it's pretty well evidenced by the fact that the market does move in tandem. And so you might be like, well, okay, well, what the hell? Why would it matter what you invest in then if the whole market moves in tandem? And, well, there are a number of good reasons that I think it still matters what people choose to invest in. For example, not the least of which would be, I don't know when that sentiment's going to change or how quickly it will occur. What if very quickly, people decide that utility matters substantially? Well, then, you better be holding the coin that does something, don't you think? I would think. And XRP, as far as utility, XRP's got it in spades. It's one of the few cryptocurrencies on the entire planet that functionally does anything. So when sentiment changes, again, I don't know how quick it will occur. I'm not going to be freaking out. Now, for some other coins that I hold, some that I've purchased perhaps a little bit more recently, maybe I'd be a little bit more concerned, for over the long haul. But I also do recognize that in the short term, or certainly for the duration of this market cycle, yeah, fine. I don't think necessarily it's going to matter a whole lot what you hold. I think pretty much everything's going to pop, which is what happened last market cycle. And so here's what Credible Crypto wrote. Current market nature dictates that hype and speculation will always prevail in the short term because the market is still so nascent and immature. With time, this market will mature, and hype and speculation will take a back seat to projects with real utility and purpose. Bravo, Credible. That's my golf clap. Can you hear that? That's my little golf clap. That is exactly what I believe. It's just a matter of time. And by the way, I want to be clear here too. Like, this is like, you could call it speculation, I guess, but like, I feel as close to 100% certain that that's going to happen, because this human behavior we've seen before. We saw it a couple decades ago with the dot-com boom and bust. We did. Humans were acting just as ridiculous. Oh, what's that? You're a company that now has a .com at the end of your company name? Here, take all of my money. That's effectively what happened. And you got this bubble that inflated to something like $6 trillion back then. And then that thing popped. and then after that, utility, the companies that actually deserved to be there and had a relevant use case at the time, utilizing the internet. Yeah, those companies persisted. There were a whole bunch of winners out of the space. But before there was that sufficient maturation, that was not the case. And so I do think you're going to see something like that. But humans just behave like this. You can even think back to hundreds of years ago with Tulip Mania, TULIP Mania. Google it if you're not aware of what it is. People, like, they do FOMO in. We can see this type of behavior. It's not all about fundamentals, but eventually fundamentals are always going to win out, I think. And so somebody responded to that and wrote, so Dogecoin reaches $1 before HBAR being another cryptocurrency in case you're not familiar, correct? And so he's asking, Doge before HBAR, Doge at $1 before HBAR? So why not shield these hype/meme coins if just for short term? Unless you think HBAR run isn't far away, and since nobody can time market exactly, you rather not take the chance, which is a legitimate question. You could plug XRP in there because XRP is another cryptocurrency that has actual utility. So whether you have HBAR in there or you're asking about XRP, doesn't matter. His response is the following. Because buying hype/meme coins is akin to gambling and is a lot more risky. You can play the Uniswap casino and make 100x more than buying any major crypto out there, but the risk is also 100x. Buy an S-word coin, and you don't have to worry about it going to zero. Buy HBAR, and you don't. And so, yeah, when you're talking about these little meme coins, I've never gotten to any of that nonsense. Like, I draw the line there. I'm sure some of you out there have been purchasing that, so this is not against you. That's fine. Everybody should get to do what you want. I'm just saying, for me, that is not a fit. I am not interested. That is in a whole different realm. So, yes, the market, in a general sense, it moves in tandem. But when you're talking about some of these meme coins, I don't know for sure that these things won't just pop once and then go to zero. I have a much better understanding of what's happening with mid cap and large cap coins, and the market does continue to move in tandem. While I still acknowledge I don't know when that's going to change, but eventually utility is going to matter to a much more substantial level. Here's chart analyst Leb Crypto, and I got to tell you, like, it's hard for me to find bearish predictions about Bitcoin right now. It legitimately is. So this is as close to bearish as I can get. And this isn't even saying, this chart analyst isn't even saying the bearishness is going to happen. It's just an acknowledgement, okay, maybe, but even then it probably wouldn't be that bad. But like, I can't find bearishness. Like, go figure, right? And so here's what Love Crypto tweeted out, talking about Bitcoin here. Expecting a 30,000 to 44,000 range-bound environment for the rest of this summer, unless $45,000 is flipped as support on the weekly chart, which... certainly to this point, certainly no guarantee that's going to happen, imminently, but hopefully, yes. And so then somebody named Sunny tagged a chart analyst named Tara and wrote, Tara predicts $26,000 Bitcoin next. What do you think? And Leb Crypto responded, possible yes, especially if people recklessly go long with high leverage at these levels. Another liquidation cascade would be in order, although any dips under $30,000 would likely get bought up very quickly and aggressively. it'll just look like a wick on the daily or weekly charts. And so again, he's not even saying that is going to happen, but it's the most bearish thing I could find, so I'm sharing it with you. I can't, other than fly-by-night analysts that I just don't respect or follow with any amount of regularity. But I do see them pop up on my Twitter feed, and I'm like, where did you come from? Anyway, here's a tweet from chart analyst Michael Vandepop. Update on Bitcoin, still pretty much the same concept here. And here's the chart here, I'll blow it up. Here's the chart that he squiggled on. And you can see here he's expecting roughly, maybe it's roughly within the next 6 weeks, he's seeing Bitcoin getting closer to that $50,000 price level, which is something that's being called on by a number of analysts. That's why I want to make sure I did highlight that in this video, anywhere right around that level. For instance, here's an article from You Today titled, Legendary trader John Bullinger claims $50,000 is Bitcoin's next target. And so John here, he is a top shelf trader and analyst. He doesn't always talk about crypto stuff or really trading in general publicly that I see anyway. And so I only have an opportunity to cover what he says so frequently. When he does, I always pay attention. Same with Peter Brandt. He's not always publicly tweeting, and I know he doesn't like Ripple and XRP. But still, I'm not going to take away from the fact that he's a legendary. That's what everybody calls him, legendary trader, and he kind of got that label for good reason. I just don't trust whatever he has to say about XRP price action, so I just throw that out because there's this bias against it. But the rest of it, because he was famous for calling the top of the Bitcoin market last cycle, December 2017, and he called the bottom in mid-December 2018 for Bitcoin. And so there are reasons that people pay attention to certain chart analysts. And again, so John's one of them. He's saying, hey, $50,000. In a recent tweet, prominent trader John Bullinger claims that $50,000 is Bitcoin's first real target. The creator of the Bollinger Band's volatility indicator believes that the bottom is already in for the flagship cryptocurrency. And so that's a level to watch for, and I have seen that from a number of analysts today, and that's something that, if hit, could reignite the market in a very notable way. It's already good to just see it up in a general sense over the last couple of days, but to get things to go completely gangbusters again, where everybody's back in greed mode, they're saying somewhere up around there. And then there's this headline from Crypto News Flash. Finally, $40,000. Bitcoin breaks past a critical resistance as experts eye $50,000 as the next milestone. And in this article, I don't even think, I read through this, I believe that this is not one that was even talking about Bollinger. There are just so many analysts that were citing that level. And so you can see here they wrote, with $40,000 now in hand, Bitcoin's next critical level will be $42,500. This roughly represents its 200-day simple moving average. Now, Bitcoin gets to hits this level, it will be set up to rally to $50,000 and consequently reignite the bull market it was on a few months ago. And so look, we're still in a bull market regardless, as far as the degree to which it's running and rallying. Yeah, I got it. It hasn't been as hot since May 19th. I understand that. But it doesn't change the fact that we're still in the bull market. There were, how many were there? Now I forget off the top of my head. I think it was 9 major pullbacks last market cycle for Bitcoin from beginning of 2015 to end of 2017. 9 pullbacks that averaged 37%. So some were higher than that. It did not mean that the bull market was over when those happened. It just felt like it to those people that got scared and then they panic sold. I understand that. But it would be weird if something like this didn't happen. And I was saying that in the months leading up to it. I said, look, I don't pretend to know when it's going to happen. I'm not a chart analyst, but I'd be very surprised if it didn't at some point. And I was just trying to prepare people because history shows us that was going to happen at some point, and it sure did. And so when it happened, not that I knew it was going to happen when it happened, but it didn't surprise me. I knew it was inevitable. And that's why for me, like, the best thing I can do is nothing. I don't want to try and time markets. There's no way I'd be good at that. Pretty much nobody is on the planet. I don't even want to try. The one thing I can control is whether or not I'm holding. So like I'm just going to hold. That's it. And so eventually this market's going to heat back up. Money will cycle through altcoins. I do believe that XRP is going to hit that $1.70 level, which it did just a couple months ago or so. And it's going to hit that, and eventually it will rally through it. It's a level of resistance. Doesn't mean there can't be a pullback once it gets to that range, but eventually it will hit its all-time high, I firmly believe, and it will enter a new realm of price discovery. This has been my bet. This has been my bet the whole time I've been holding XRP, specifically since the bubble popped, and I saw the bubble pop the beginning of 2018. My bet has been that at some unknown point in the future, which I cannot control, XRP will hit its all-time high and just blast through it. And I did anticipate that it would likely be years, given how quickly the market had heated up and how I mean, because think about it. What was the market cap at the beginning of 2017? Actually, I honestly don't even know off the top of my head, but then it got up to what, 850 billion by the end of the year. And so seeing it crater back down to 175 billion as it was on its way down, I'm like, yeah, this might be a multi-year thing. And it sure enough was, but market cycles exist. This is not surprising. This isn't horrible or bad or what, not to me anyway. I was like, I'm just going to outpatient everyone else because that's the only thing I can freaking control. That's my plan. And that plan hasn't changed since the beginning of 2018. I'm still here over 3 years later, just waiting. And I will not be outpatiented. Sorry. I'll wrap up there. I am not a financial advisor. Should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.